What a
Oh,
okay. I'll go with whatever Anna says.
you asked for the number two. I'll go with that.
My
Okay,
son got a job without telling me.
good.
Okay. My son got a job without telling me.
Am I the butthole for being upset with my son for finding a job without telling me? My son is 18. He's going to be attending community college and is living with me, my husband, and his two younger half sisters. The other day, I found out that he found and accepted a job without telling me. I was upset with him about it, and the reason for that is that, first of all, he should have told me since we live in the same house. And also, more importantly, now I'm left without someone to babysit for the girls from 3 to 8 when my shift ends. My son is usually the one to stay home with the girls, and his new job is during those hours, so one way or another, we're impacted. He told me his friends found him this job and that it just happened, but I don't think it did because he knew that he'd have to give up staying with his sisters while I work. My husband travels most of the time, he's a pilot, and paid childcare is a no for me. My son said that I shouldn't be surprised by him trying to work to save money to be able to pay for himself. But that's just absurd, since he literally lives with us without having to pay for anything except for his own entertainment. He said he needed the job, and he wasn't realistically going to stay and watch his sisters for days on end, especially if he doesn't get paid for it. We kept arguing, and my husband got involved, and he just got too upset, saying that my son has no respect for us. My son basically had a like it or not attitude with us and kept refusing to discuss this with us, saying that we had no right to be upset with him and should just accept it. But I think that he's being inconsiderate of my husband and I's struggle to provide for the family as a whole. This should mean something to him, but he's acting selfishly. Edit. Okay, it seems that I didn't mention the reason why the babysitter option isn't ideal. It's because my daughters don't want a babysitter. They're both dealing with some issues and they're uncomfortable being with a stranger at home. Besides that, my son decided to stay with them and we didn't ask him or anything. Some of you are implying or suggesting that I'm making my son be the girl's babysitter, but in fact, that's not true. He doesn't do much for them, just stays home with them while he studies or plays video games. He adores his sisters and only stays with them when he wants to. Otherwise, we wouldn't force him. Also, my husband said the girls are too young for therapy, and I agree with him on that.
What the goodness? I went to church today. I can't say what I want to say. What girl? But what
What
happens
the
when?
fuck was that?
Thank you, Anna. Cause boy, I couldn't say. I'm like, what the? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is not. This can't be real. Is this real or
I'm
not?
gonna tell you what messed her up. I'm gonna tell you what messed her up. Yeah, this is real. Trust me, this has always been real. We've always had people who had children to watch children. That's pretty much your whole freaking thing. That's why the oldest child always seemingly don't have a damn life because they always watching the younger child. And trust me when I say I grew up on that tremendously. That I've literally seen people who've had 5 and 6 kids and the oldest was always supposed to be taking care of the youngest children until they leave. Period. You do the cooking, you do the cleaning, you do the chores.
And
I
you
go
want
to
to have the
work, I bring home
kids.
the money, and I go bed, lather, rinse, repeat. Yeah, I've seen it. This woman messed up when she said the first part. I'm so upset. He got a job and nobody watch. He won't watch the kids. He's just being selfish and everything. But then you turn around and go, but I don't make
But
him
I
watch
don't.
the kids. I've never made him.
No, she lost me. She lost me when she said he's 18. That means he's an adult. He's not responsible for he first of all, he didn't make them children, so it's not his responsibility to watch them children. That's yours. You should have thought about that before you had intercourse. I don't
Yeah,
know
you can
what
do
you was
that.
thinking. I don't care. He what happens when he moves out and can't watch? They're too young. And the father, you garbage too. Child care is a result of having children. You just put it into. This is why you need to add up the cost before having children. You have to add that. This like, oh my goodness.
Yet another woman with the deeply held belief that she is the center of the universe.
Universe,
But I'm
absolutely.
gonna tell you right now, this is the part where I have to be a little serious. Just for a second.
Big man.
It would have been one thing. It would have been one thing if she would have said, "Look, I will pay you money. I know that you're looking for a job, so I really need somebody here with the girls. I don't have anybody for therapy for them yet, so can we make a deal?" Wasn't what she said.
She want him to do it for free, and he wants to take care of himself like, gee, a normal 18-year-old would. Oh my goodness.
But this is the deal. I have to be a little serious because the last part kind of pissed me off. Why do you not want a babysitter? Because the kids do not want to be with somebody because they're going through some things. So you recognize, lady, that your younger kids is going through some things. You also then turn around like a dumbass and go, but they too young for therapy. Help me understand your logic. Because your son watching them ain't going to make them better.
Really?
They do not understand what therapy is, what they do in there. Mhm.
No, they understand. They're just too. She's just too much of a selfish twit to even care about her daughter. She cares about herself. Period.
Oh,
With the
yeah,
T at the end.
Well, playing devil's advocate is not her responsibility to provide him housing, and that's true.
That's
why I
true
was
too.
coming up. That's
why he got a job so he can move out.
Ask him to pay rent and butt out of his life. That's something that you can do. That's absolutely
Be like,
true.
hey, you working now, but you ain't responsible for watching these kids. Yep, I want some rent money.
You know what? And I will even go for this. You're not watching the kids anymore. Now here comes the caveat of playing devil's advocate to devil's advocate. I'm paying rent now. I can't babysit anymore now. What you gonna do with that extra money? Are you gonna get a babysitter? No. You're just gonna sit here and try
she
to
doesn't want somebody from the outside.
They don't want somebody from the outside coming in. They don't want to take the children to therapy. Basically, they want him to be part-time parent.
So he is not allowed to get a job that has hours any time between 3 and 8 p.m. That's just not really realistic. At 18, no, not really.
And tell me where you can put this experience on your resume.
Watch Sisters.
I watched my sisters, but I didn't really watch my sisters. I played video games.
No, you could put I provided childcare, and I don't know how you describe video games.
Right, LL. She could have chose many alternatives, but she chose right.
She chose violence.
It's kind of my statement of you had many things you could do, but you went nuclear with your decision.
Oh, you chose the worst option. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she chose violence. Yeah, that was it. You could have.
And what happens?
And the funny thing about it is, you never said how old the girls were either. I'm just curious about that.
Are they 3 and 4? Or are they 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 12 and 13?
Yeah, are they 12? That's my argument right there. Are they 12 and 13, but you still need a babysitter there because they're going through some things that you refuse to help them with because they're too young. And hubby, who flies out a lot, no offense, dude, but how you know?
Yeah, you always gone. Here's my
No, don't. Please don't make assumptions there. He might be on the phone every night. He might get a daily report. You don't know how people can stay connected these days.
I mean, he can FaceTime, but he's a pilot.
He could.
Yes.
And he could also be the one to sit there and go, I'll see y'all later.
But here's my question. Here's my legitimate question. What happens when he wants to move out? Because that situation is going to get on his nerves. And he's going to want to move out.
What's going to happen then? She could do many alternatives, but she chose violence. You acting a plum monkey while he's there in the house. Now imagine when it's time for him to move out. Lord knows what happens if he decides to go to college
and live on campus.
Most parents want their kids to grow up and
get a
get
job.
out.
Get a job at least if
Get
you're
a
gonna put
job.
up.
Will
And
you
then get
hurry
a
up and get a
job. It's
job?
part of that. Yeah.
He is only 18 years old. I think the parents do not have some degree of responsibility for housing, or at the very least have him pay a small amount for rent. No 18-year-old make enough money for an apartment.
Hey, Parker.
And that was the alternative we said. Have him pay rent.
Here's an alternative, Parker. 30-year-olds don't make enough to pay rent.
Yeah.
Because the rent's too high. I'm just saying. What you right? They could charge him something, but don't expect him to be sitting here watching. He's not their parent. He's not those two little girls' parents. You're the parent. You make sure the children get there because you've identified they need it. But now you're withholding the care that they need because you don't want to pay because they are afraid of What?
The mother probably could still be mad at him even if he decided to go live on his own because she would still need someone to take care of the kids. So that would be my counter argument towards people that say, go just make him pay rent, just make him pay rent. It ain't a money situation. That's not what the issue is with her. It's not money. Where you and again, because we do this on this show by default, we're using logic. It isn't about the money. It's literally about I need somebody to watch these kids while I'm at work. Period, point blank, in the discussion. Even so, I'm saying that to say this. Even if she was to say, okay, now you got a job, you need to pay some rent. That's not going to change what the other part of
because
it.
She goes still want a free babysitter.
Because he's still going to want somebody. So now he's losing money out of his check, and he's still babysitting for free. In fact, it almost sounds like he's paying her to babysit. So
why can't this be the nominee